grab a whole handful of bobby pins because you're going to need it. And a round object, kind of like that we're going to be using for making the curls, I'm using an empty cell bottle. And we're going to start with towel dried hair. Now wrap your hair around the object of your choice and roll up with the curl facing downwards. Now I'm going to be positioning most of my curls around this section of my head on either side. Notice how when I pin the curls, the opening is facing outwards. This is different than with rollers where it would be folding down. And this will make for a much prettier look. These curls that I'm placing, I'm going to overlap slightly and bunch them around that area to keep them all in the same section. Now when you push in your bobby pins, try to grab a bit of the top hair before pushing through and securing against the scalp below. And that way your curls won't fall out like my first one just did. I'm grabbing about 1-inch sections of hair. If you want your curls tighter, grab smaller sections. If you want them looser, grab larger sections. Now you could just put your hair up in rollers, but I am doing it this way for 3 reasons. First of all, these are going to make wonderful curls for a hairstyle for tomorrow because these bobby pins are relatively comfortable to sleep in, especially since I'm not putting a lot in the very back of my hair. No heat is needed, secondly, so my hair is not going to be damaged, and I love that. And third, this in of itself is such a gorgeous updo that I can wear for today rather than staying inside and hiding while my hair dries. Why not? This is my go-to hairstyle for festivals just because it's so pretty. It could be used for any formal occasion as well. And notice how the hair in front I've swept downwards before pulling it up. That's what gives it the updo look. I love putting flowers in it too. It's just so pretty. Well, good morning. This is what your curls are going to look like the next day if you slept on them, probably. And we're going to take out all these bobby pins, which is quite the process. I think I used up just about every single bobby pin that I had. Now I'm going to be trying to keep as much of this curl as possible with my Pro Santi hairspray. Unfortunately, I did this tutorial on just about one of the most humid days here possible this summer. Yay, Texas! So a lot of my curl did end up falling out, especially since I was moving my hair around so much, trying to show you guys what I was doing. But on a less humid day, it's going to last a lot longer. So those 2 sections of hair in the front that I had down before I pulled them up, I am separating them now. It's all the hair in front of my ears and pinning underneath my chin. We're going to be working with that in a little bit. The next section of hair we're going to take is right around the crown area and towards the back. Kind of the same area of hair if you are used to doing a bump back here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just be careful with those curls. They grab each other. Loosen them gently. Kind of bounce them out so you don't rip any hair and it doesn't tangle. Now that might be a little bit too much hair, which I'm checking here. It's a little too heavy, so I'm going to let a little bit back down. And once you like it, gather it up gently and secure it on top of your head for later. I call this the Spartan Princess hairstyle just because that really, it ends up looking that way to me, just perfectly. We're going to be taking just a tiny bit of hair here underneath the section that we took previously. pull that off to the side. My 4-year-old son has been borrowing my hair clips because he thinks that they're teeth. So I borrowed one of his clips. It works. Okay, now the bottom hair, secure that off for later. And this section that we just took, I'm going to divide that in half now. Again, don't worry, this doesn't have to be perfect. And now we're going to start Dutch lace braiding. It's not as hard as it sounds. So I'm going to start here with 3 strands right at the front. We're going to be folding under. That's what makes it the Dutch braid instead of the French braid. Get it started here. And now these outward strands next to my face, they're the only ones that are going to get hair added into them. Normally we would add in hair on both sides, but not for a lace braid. For a lace braid, you only add in hair from one side. So here you can see I'm taking hair, the entire section of the panel, as I'm sectioning it off, but I'm only adding that hair to the front strand. I'm sweeping it up and back because I'm pulling this braid towards the part, as it's going to cover that part later. So again, taking another section, sweeping it upward, adding it only to the front strand, folding it under, and continuing the Dutch lace braid as I go. And we're going to use all this free hanging hair that we have sectioned off and add it into the braid. And once you get to the end and have no hair left, we're going to do an English braid all the way to the bottom. That's just a fancy term for a regular 3-strand braid. And when you reach the ends, just secure in place with a small bobby pin. Normally I would do an elastic, but when we are trying to hide braids that are thin on the end like this, it's easier to have a bobby pin. You can just tuck those ends into place and not have to worry about a bulky elastic. Here I'm going to give you another close-up of the Dutch lace braid with bigger chunks of hair from this side, so it's a little bit easier to see. Again, I'm taking sections next to my face, getting the entire section back to the parting, and only adding it to the front strand and folding it under. I really, really love this hairstyle. It's so youthful and feminine and yet regal at the same time. So it lends itself to a lot of different ways that you can wear it, a lot of different outfits you can pair it with. When you're done, your braids should look just like this. And now it's time to wrap them around the part to hide that part. So wrap one around secure near the top of your head in the front, and then wrap the other one to meet it to make sure we're as symmetrical as possible. And once you have those into place, it's covered the part the way that you like. It's just a matter of hiding the ends. So continue to wrap around and tuck those ends under and hide them. You can see how that makes a beautiful crown at the top. Now the hair on the top, that section I've let down. You can smooth it out if you'd like to. And the very ends right next to the crown, I'm going to take a tiny piece of hair and bobby pin that into place. And that way throughout the day, it's encouraged to stay back there rather than folding over my ears. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this hair tutorial, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe below because more are coming your way.